Hi, my name is Katie. I'm an International Certified Master Groomer and I've been grooming for 17 years. Today I'm going to teach you how to bath a dog professionally. I'm going to go through all the kit that you need before you actually get your dog into the bath, because once your dog is wet and soapy, you really don't want to be looking for your equipment. I like to use Wild Wash shampoo because it's organic and it doesn't have any nasties in it. It's really kind to your skin and it's really kind for the dog. You're also going to need a plastic jug to bath your dog. Plastic, not glass, please. Glass is dangerous. If you drop it into the bath, you could end up with a lot of broken glass around your dog's feet. This is a plastic flea comb. It's an essential part of my bathing process. You'll find out why later in the groom. This is a bamboo towel. You can, of course, use a regular flannel or a small sponge at this stage, but you're going to need something like this. So I filled my 2-litre jug of water, and the water is very hot. Wouldn't be comfortable for me to have my fingers in that for too long. This is because it's going to take me a couple of minutes to get the dog sorted and get the dog in the bath and get the shampoo mixed in with it. If you start with it at hand temperature to start with, you're going to end up with trying to bath your dog with something that's chilly. I'm now going to put the shampoo into the water. It's about 30 millilitres for the 2-litre jug. This is Kimmy. Kimmy is a Shih Tzu. She's a rescue from a puppy farm in Wales. So you'll have to excuse the fact that she has some problems breathing, which is fairly typical of the breed. She may start snorting all the way through this. I'm using her because I need to show you how to get into deep folds like this. Your dog may not have them, but if it does, then we need to be able to get that bit clean carefully, get all of this clean carefully as well. We're going to start with the rear end. The reason for that is that the first place the soap goes is here. The last place the soap goes is here. The first place you rinse is here. And the last place you rinse will be down there. So if you were, by some mistake, and it may happen, get soap into your dog's eyes, it's the last place it went into, but the first place that you rinse it out from. Start with a dry dog. You do not need to wet the dog first. You're going to do all of the water work with this stuff in the jug. So I'm going to lift Kimmy's tail up and I'm going to make sure her bum is properly clean. And once that's properly clean, I'm going to go over her tail and I'm going to use the shower puff. Can you see how lovely and frothy and bubbly it gets? Really nice. Making sure that this area is properly soaked. You also need the underneath bit properly soaked as well, especially for girls. And if there's any poopy bits hanging on to the fur around her anus, then we will be dealing with that once it's had a good chance to soak. The next bit is going to be the back legs. Just try and remember that your dog isn't very comfortable lifting its hind legs terribly high, so keep that foot low as you're scrubbing. Don't pull the leg out too high, upwards or outwards. And you can put the shower puff down and then get in between those toes. This area is called the hock, and this is the pad, and this is the area that they sit on. When they sit, this area is in contact with the ground, so this area is usually filthy. Go down the shoulder and over the front leg, down the paw, and pay real attention, bending the leg that way. Don't pull it out too much this way towards you. Front legs can go forwards quite high and back here surprisingly high, but they don't come out this way terribly high without causing discomfort to the dog. Now we're going to do under her chin. And underneath her ears. And this is where I like to swap to that flannel. Do you remember that flannel we were going to use? Well, this is it. And I want to be quite careful not to get shampoo into Kimmy's eyes. If the dog's shaking a lot in the bath, trying to shake the water off, it's either too hot or too cold for that dog. This area is called the fleas. I'll get right in there. Lots of dogs have got quite a big foal fur in here, and it gets really, really gummy and horrible. So we're going to pay the same attention under the ears. And this area, the ear leather, all needs to be clean. You do not want to have water going into the dog's ears, but you do need to clean them out. Now just warm water. The first thing we're going to do is go around the eyes. Kimmy is fed on a natural raw diet, and I cannot extol the virtues of a diet like that enough. Oh, look, all this gooey stuff from her eyes. And once you're pretty sure you've got it rinsed, it's the time to reach for that knit comb. If your dog's got any eye bogies, this is where you comb them here. Has she got any in their eyelashes? Oh, Kimmy. You want to make sure you've combed out. Look at that in the eyelashes. Now I'm going to pour water gently. I find that rinsing the head and the face with a jug is much kinder to the dog than going in with your shower. But I will be showering the rest of her. We're going to rinse her, and it cannot be emphasised enough that any soap left behind, even good quality shampoo like Wild Wash, could cause a reaction on the dog's skin and could cause it to itch. So you absolutely cannot overdo this. Rinsing has to be thorough until the dog squeaks clean. My rinse normally takes 15 minutes. It's really important that you don't leave any soap at all in the dog. Your rinse, depending on how long your dog's coat is, should take you anywhere between 5 minutes and 15 minutes. Remember to rinse these areas between this stop pad and the back pad of the paw. It's a common area where you might forget to leave soap. Another common area will be underneath the ear. Just move the back of it, Kimmy. Plug her ear with my thumb. This area here, quite often will have soap left behind. To check that you have got all the soap out, you can do a visual check and part the fur and see if you can see any bubbles. If you can't see any bubbles, the next thing to try would be the squeak test. Take a little bit of fur and pull it through your fingers. That's squeaky clean. Now we need to get the dog dry. So we're going to take one of these towels that's been soaking, and the first one I'm going to wrap underneath Kimmy's chin like this, over her head at the back, hold that fairly firmly, and over her head that way. The second towel's going to go around her chest and over her back like that. The third towel over her back, and these are, because they're rubbery, so they tend to hold everything together and lock it for you. I'm going to put a fourth one over her bottom like that. Just having your dog sitting on towels dries them really so much faster. The big mistake everybody makes when drying a dog is to get in there and then rub it really vigorously, try and rub it dry. Unfortunately, all that does is cause the mats to become worse. So I want you to learn this new technique where you put your hands either side of the dog and you gently cup and squeeze, count to 3, and then let go with the pressure. 2, 3. This is just as effective as doing this, but all that's going to do is wind the dog up. And what we want the dog to be is really, really quiet and easy to groom. So Kimmy has been sitting for a few minutes in these towels now. If you sit your dog in them for about 5 minutes, you'll be astonished at how dry the dog becomes. You can take them off and wring them out and put them back on again, of course. So her days of being an ET stand-in are over. She's going to be disrobed, and I want you to see how dry she is. She's been in these wraps for approximately 5 minutes. So you start just by undoing the back ones. Just reverse order of how you took them off, really. Again, it's got to be nice and gentle for the dog. We don't want to be flinging things around. Pretty dry pooch. You're going to dry your dog. If it's a lovely warm day outside and you're going to just let your dog drip dry, please just comb through the long fur bits. For Kimmy, that's her tail and her ears, which is why I said have your comb ready. And don't forget the back of the ear here. It's the area that gets matted. Make sure that's combed out. There are some excellent anti-tangle products on the market. You might want to just give the lightest squirt. A big mistake to start combing here and try and rip all the way through down to the bottom. That just is painful for the dog. So take the very last inch or so of fur and comb that through. And when your comb can just go through beautifully and easily like that, you can then start going a little higher up. So once you've done the tail, you can then just skim the body of the dog with the comb. You would be surprised at how much hair will come out in the comb if you've got a dog that sheds. A comb through a damp coat like this is just an amazing way of getting rid of a lot of those spring shedding beasties' fur. So on a fine sunny day, when it's warm outside, she will be good to go after being combed through. Personally, I like to get my dogs completely dry with a hairdryer, and that's where we're going to go next. So I want to talk to you about blasters. Blasters are the doggy version of hairdryers. They have a long flexible hose going back to a machine that you switch on and off safely out of the way of anything wet. I don't know why they produce the ones with a circular cone at the end, because this flat blade will do most of your brushing for you if it's used properly. This is a professional dog blaster.
The further away the nozzle is, the better it is for long fur. You want to be able to create like a rosette of fur. As you can see, all of the fur is just going straight out from one side and the other, creating a nice straight seam. If you're too close with a blaster, it will all curl up.
So to briefly summarise, you need to have all your things to hand. Your towels, your knit comb, a regular comb, plastic jug, a loofah or a shower puff, and your flannel. You start with your shower puff covered in soap at that end, and you work all the way forward to this end. You then use the flannel to wipe all of the delicate structures under the eyes, around the ears. You then rinse the flannel out very thoroughly and use the flannel to rinse all of those areas off. Then a jug of water to rinse the head off, and then you can use the shower to get the rest of the dog really clean. Remember that your dog has got 4 paws, and at the end of those 4 paws are 4 toes. You need to have cleaned in and out of every single one of them to be able to say you properly bathed your dog Centre Stage style today.